If money has ever made you feel anxious, behind, or like you're constantly doing something wrong, this might surprise you, because the biggest shift in my financial life did not start with budgeting. It started with meditation and mindfulness. And I know that might be a little unexpected, but hear me out. I've personally been using the Headspace app for about 6 to 7 years now. At this point, I meditate daily, even if it's just for 5 minutes in the morning. And over time, I started noticing something very interesting. The same principles that helped me reduce stress and anxiety in my mind, in my general life, they're the same principles that have changed how I experience money. And this is not in a fluffy way. Practicing mindfulness has rewired how I think about money, how I feel about it. It's improved my relationship with money in the best way possible. I feel very calm and in control of my money, and that includes during very stressful times, like getting laid off or thousands of dollars of unexpected home repairs. So in this video, what I want to do is walk you through 7 different ways that mindfulness has helped me rewire how I think about money. And I hope it can help you out and give you some ideas in case you want to improve your relationship with money as well. For those new here, hello and welcome. My name is Lissa. I'm a certified financial planner, and I help women build wealth and build an abundant mindset. So if that's your vibe, make sure you subscribe. Number 1, non-judgmental awareness. One of the core ideas in mindfulness is something called non-judgmental awareness. All that means is you learn to observe your thoughts, to build a self-awareness, and to look at them without labeling them as good or bad. You're just observing them. You're not trying to fix them. You're not trying to push those thoughts away. You're just noticing them as they are. You're allowing them to exist. Taking that idea and that concept has changed a lot for me when it comes to money. And that's because a lot of us actually don't have a money problem. We have a problem with shame. It's not your fault. It's all around us. Sometimes it comes from our childhoods, from messages all around us, TV, media. Spending or a lack of financial literacy is often looked at with a lot of shame. That's why a lot of people say that they're bad with money. There's a lot of regrets. I shouldn't have spent that. I'm so behind everyone else. I personally think that judgment shuts you down. When you start to judge yourself in that way, your brain feels like it's being judged. And instead of solving the problem, it goes into avoidance. So instead of saying, I'm bad with money, I'm so terrible with money, instead, if you are practicing non-judgmental awareness, you can simply look at the practical side of it. Here's what came in, here's what went out. This is why. That's it. No shame, just awareness. And it's that awareness that gives you power. Number 2, awareness of your thoughts. Piggybacking off of what I just said about non-judgmental awareness, the awareness itself goes a long way. Like I said earlier, in meditation, in building up mindfulness, you learn to notice your thoughts. And the idea is that you don't try to control them, you don't try to fight them, you just want to notice them. And the reason having self-awareness is such an important principle of mindfulness is it helps you see what's happening beneath the surface, your emotions, your reactions, your defaults. Over time, if you are aware of these things, you start to see patterns. And it's when you can see your patterns, like with that self-awareness, that you can make changes, positive changes, if you choose to. How many times have you seen other people that are just so not self-aware and don't see their own issues and don't see how they're projecting negative energy to others? It's not a great look. Same concept goes to your finances, your own finances. When you build an awareness of your spending, your income, your financial habits, you are able to see patterns that you probably didn't notice before. And it's only when you see those patterns that you can clearly determine how to cut off any bad patterns and how to improve the better ones. Like maybe you tend to overspend money when you're stressed, or maybe you avoid checking your accounts when things feel tight. If you can't realize that you're doing that, it's going to be hard to improve upon that. But if you build up an awareness about your financial situation and you're not judging yourself, you're just understanding how you operate, then you can set up systems and an environment that can help you improve. But it all starts with that self-awareness. Number 3, self-compassion. You're starting to see how these all kind of connect, right? So you want to be able to look at your thoughts without judgment. You want to build a self-awareness. Taking it a step further, you want to have self-compassion. You want to allow yourself to make mistakes. Self-compassion is such a big part of mindfulness because of the fact that you learn to treat yourself with the same kindness that you'd give a friend or a family member. You start to believe the idea that you can take responsibility for things without having to attack yourself, without it saying anything negative about your character. And this directly ties to how a lot of us treat ourselves when it comes to money. A lot of people want to improve their finances, but I constantly hear people beating themselves up about it, feeling ashamed for bad financial decisions, feeling ashamed for not knowing enough, not knowing what the stock market is, not understanding how compounding works, not understanding how to read their pay stubs. And I don't believe that you can shame yourself into financial peace of mind. I think that you have to have compassion for yourself. And it's not like I want to place blame on everything else or everyone else, but how many of you actually learned proper financial literacy in school? And even if you did learn some basic financial literacy in school, how much of it was comprehensive enough to teach you about investing, how to read a paycheck, how to pick the proper insurance policy, how to plan your estate for generational wealth? We do not learn these things. The only reason I learned all these was because I went back to school to become a certified financial planner. We do not learn these things. And even if you learn them, a big part of learning when it comes to money is doing. And you have to experience adulthood to do that. So if there's one thing I want you to walk away with from this video, it's that if you've made a financial mistake, or if you feel like you don't know enough about money and investing and anything else that's complex when it comes to money, please don't feel ashamed for that. It's not your fault. It literally isn't. Please have some self-compassion for yourself and try to rewrite your narrative. Maybe it's more like, yeah, I made that decision, and I'm still someone who is learning and improving my finances over time. It starts to separate who you are from what you might have done. And that's how I think you can stay in the game long enough to actually build wealth. You can't do it if you continuously beat yourself up about it. We have 3 down, we got 4 to go, but real quick, if you are enjoying this video, please don't forget to hit the like button. It helps out my channel, and then I can reach more people and help more people just like you. Number 4, consistency over perfection. So like I said, I meditate every day as part of my mindfulness practices. The thing about meditation is this is not meant to fix you overnight or fix you at all. It's not that you do it one time or a few times and suddenly you're this calm, centered, healed, level-headed person. Meditation is a mindfulness practice. It's something you return to consistently. If you stretch every day and then you don't stretch a muscle for 5 years, that muscle is going to be tight. So rather than cramming all your stretching into 1 year so that you could take 5 years off, You literally have to consistently do it. Bake it into your routine. Meditation is kind of similar. You want to incorporate it into your life on a regular basis and have it be something you do consistently. So like stretching, like meditating, your finances are very similar. You rarely can fix your money in one weekend or overnight. Or even if you spend a whole month improving your finances and then you step away from it, that's not going to work. Money touches pretty much every aspect of our lives. So it has to become a regular practice and part of your life, something you prioritize. The upside is you can set up systems, automated systems, where you don't have to think about your money every single minute of every day, but you know that it's running in the background. Automatic savings, systems for paying your bills on time, monthly check-ins, budgeting apps that send you notifications. Good systems are going to help you create consistency and make your finances part of your routine. That way, it becomes a regular practice. Number 5, understanding your why. In mindfulness, understanding your intention is what tends to keep you consistent. There's an element of knowing your purpose. So, for example, most people don't practice mindfulness for the sake of practicing mindfulness. There's an element of knowing what you get out of it, what value it brings to your life, how it improves your quality of life, how it makes you feel. When you know what that purpose is, it helps you show up consistently. And the same applies to money. I think it's very, very hard to do all the right things with your money, to save money, to spend intentionally, to invest on a regular basis, to organize your money well, day in and day out. It's hard to do all of that if you don't know the why behind it. So for example, I should be better with money. That's not strong enough of a goal to carry you. Because saying you should do something, that's more rooted in putting pressure on yourself rather than figuring out what your purpose is, your why. Most people, when it comes to money, their why has to do with more freedom, more security, more options, more access. Maybe it's being the first in your family to build wealth and feel financially stable. If you know what that why is, it changes everything because your brain is more likely to stick with these behaviors that are meaningful and that are going to improve your financial life versus just doing all the logical, practical day-to-day steps. When your actions are purpose-driven, you are going to be more consistent and you're going to feel good about your financial life. Number 6, setting intentions. In some forms of meditation, you often set an intention before you start. It can be something simple like, today I want to be more present. When you set an intention, it's literally a conscious decision of how you want to show up. Whether or not you actually show up that way is another story, but the intent matters. And I think the same goes for your financial life. This is kind of connected to what I said earlier about having purpose. When it comes to your money, having intention can be telling your money where to go before it goes anywhere else. For example, paying yourself first, putting money towards savings before you buy new shoes. It really just means prioritizing saving or investing before you spend. It's you basically telling yourself, my future matters, so I'm going to act like it. I have the intent to save whenever I get paid, and that's that. Having that intention gives you direction, it removes friction, and it makes it way more likely that you are going to improve your financial life. Last but not least, number 7, staying present. This might be the most powerful one on the list. So mindfulness teaches you to stay connected to the present moment. Oftentimes we're flooded with thoughts about the past or the future, where we replay the past over and over again, or we stress about the future, about what it could look like. So the practice of mindfulness often teaches you to stay connected to the present moment, your breathing, your environment, the sounds you hear, what you smell, what you see, whatever's happening right now in the moment. With money, of course, we want to plan for the future and we want to learn from our past. And sometimes we're still paying for things in our past if you have debt. But a key element that I think is important with your finances is to focus a lot on the present. With money, you don't want to spend all your time regretting a past spending decision, something that you can't change anymore. And you don't want to constantly only think about the future and keep chasing for that moment in the future when you have more money. Regretting the past and chasing a future state of being, that's what can make you feel behind and make you feel uncomfortable with your finances, even when you're technically probably doing just fine in the present moment. Something about being in the present when it comes to your finances, I think it helps you be connected to what you do have. You start to feel grounded and feel gratitude with what you have rather than feeling behind somebody else or feeling like you're not where you want to be yet. And I'm not saying to stop working towards more and to stop building, but I think that you have to stop believing that peace of mind with money is somewhere in the future or something in your past that you regret doing is preventing you from being content now. I don't think wealth is simply about having more and trying to chase more and more and more. I think part of it, a big part of it, is feeling like you already have enough as you continue to build. So if you've been feeling overwhelmed with money, I want you to hear this very clearly from me. You don't need to completely be a different person overnight. You don't have to force yourself to rewire your brain. I just want you to start practicing different ways of thinking, knowing that these will help you feel a better sense of financial peace. The way you think about money is usually the way you experience money. And when you can change that and improve that for the better, everything else gets a lot easier. I hope this was helpful, and until next time, peace out.